now, and we can do some more stories. We could start now with residents of Ghana's second largest city, that's Kumasi, have been plunged into darkness for the past few days. Now, initially, residents thought it was just a bad patch in the ongoing load shedding exercise. But after 72 hours without power, it became apparent that there was a big problem. The Electricity Company of Ghana told our reporter that their systems have collapsed 3 times in the past 4 days. We'll be speaking to the E.C.G to find out what caused the collapse. But first, Erastus Donko is on the phone lines now. He joins us from the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi. Erastus, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Erastus. Okay, we seem to have lost Erastus there, so we can move on to some other stories, and we'll come back and bring you this particular story. Now, let's go to the courts. And the Supreme Court has ordered the consolidation of 2 separate cases, seeking the court's interpretation of constitutional provisions on the appointment of certain key public office holders. Now, the 2 cases concern the processes for appointing judges to the highest court in the country and the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. Judges of the Supreme Court say the cases are so linked they are better assessed together.
The panel, presided over by the Chief Justice, Georgina Theodora Wood, said the consolidation of all these writs will be in the interest of the judicial economy. Earlier, private legal practitioner and complainant Kumasi Blackouts prayed the court to consolidate his writ with the Ghana Bar Association summons, which is seeking to compel the president to fully comply with Article 144, Clause 2 and 3, which directs the president to appoint Supreme Court judges based on the advice of the Judicial Council. This was supported by counsel for the first complainant, Alex Afenyo-Markin, but the Chief Justice, Georgina Theodora Wood, directed the 2 lawyers to apply to the panel sitting on the GBA writ for the consolidation. The Chief Justice explained, as chairperson of the Judicial Council, she was an interested party in the GBA writ and thus could not sit on the writ for the consolidation. Lawyers for the complainants sided with the bench and resolved to consolidate their writs.
The purpose of judicial economy, the court has directed that we consolidate, the writs before the court, because you have the Ghana Bar Association, Richard Sky, who was the first to initiate the process, and we have another lawyer, Danso Achampong. So basically, it will help determine matters once and for all, and we think we are in agreement.
But the consolidation, will that in any way affect?
No, it will help. It will help in determining all the issues. It's proper for all of us, so that the court will not be spending time today on a matter and then the same matter on a different panel.
Meanwhile, the 2 plaintiffs drew the attention of the bench to the president's appointment of the new EC chair, which they deemed to be contemptuous.
If the president, while the case is pending, can appoint and even go further to swear her into office when this case is pending, I mean, what treatment can a give to the highest court of the land than this? Can't you tell them to wait?
But the Chief Justice directed the 2 lawyers to follow due process if they seek to raise any issues regarding contempt. Counsel for Richard Sky and private legal practitioner Kumasi Blackouts stated they will make a formal application for contempt against the AG over the president's appointment of the new EC boss, even when a case on the issue was pending at the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has adjourned the case without a fixed date, pursuant to the writ of consolidation expected to be filed by parties in the matter.
We need education. Now, that's the message from live poultry sellers at the Kantamanto market here in Accra. They say they need education on how to detect poultry with avian influenza, which is currently the #1 concern of veterinary doctors here in Ghana. Now, over the past 24 hours, the Ministry of Agriculture has imposed a ban on the movement of live poultry in the national capital. Officials expect the ban to help contain the spread of the disease, which was first detected in Accra and Obuasi. We can now go on to the phone lines now and speak to John Torso, who is the Greater Accra, he's the Executive Secretary of the Ghana Association of Poultry Farmers. John Toto, he joins us now over the telephone. So, Mr. Toto, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
First and foremost, let me ask, do you at all agree with the temporary ban on the sale of poultry to obviously contain the bird flu?
Not exactly. I don't exactly agree with it because, you know, it's an industry that we are talking about, and we deal with the Minister of Food and Agriculture. So we had expected that maybe there would have been some kind of a consultation before this ban is announced, because after all, we have lived through 2007 with this avian influenza scare. Yes.
So are you saying you were not at all consulted?
Well, we weren't consulted before this announcement was made, to be sure.
Now, how is this ban likely to affect you?
Greatly. It's going to affect us very greatly because, you know, it is normally around this time and Christmas that we're able to make some sales. The industry is in dire need of patronage. And when you have this type of announcement coming out at this time, we think it's very unfortunate.
What would you rather the ministry did?
We had a consultation together and then we looked at the way forward because we don't know whether they've been able to identify any bird flu case in the bird market. If they do, then it is because of the things that they are not putting in place. You see, once you have a bird flu, it's a national issue. And there must be some announcement that will assure farmers that once your farm is depopulated, you know, you'll be compensated. We've been talking about compensation, and that has not come. And so if maybe somebody has smuggled some sick birds to the live market, then it is because we have not put the proper structures in place to ensure that we are transparent and open with the outbreaks that we may have in our farm.
So are you blaming government for this situation?
Well, I would say that government has not been proactive in this particular manner because even if you talk with the experts at the veterinary services, they say they have not had a budget to take care of this avian influenza situation.
So finally, before you go, let me ask, what, in your estimation, what do you think the way forward will be? What do you think will be the ideal approach in dealing with this?
Well, we think that there is a need for us to meet immediately and then to look at how we can repair the damage that has been made.
I see. So you are hoping government calls you for, say, a meeting? So, I mean, and at this meeting, you're
we don't need to wait for government to call us. We can go to government to talk to them. And then we together can come out and say something that will allay the fears of Ghanaians. To be honest with you, you know, bird flu is not too different from the diseases that we have in the business of poultry. And, you know, Ghanaians have been taught as to how to handle meat. Once you boil your meat well, take care of H5N1 and the rest of it will not be there because the back not stand heat. So we don't think that there is a serious problem that Ghanaians should be worried about at all. But we'll get together with the ministry and see how best to repair or manage the kind of damage that has been.
How soon do you hope, or do you think the ministry?
By the close of today, we would have had a meeting. In fact, the national chairman is on his way. He'll be touching down in Accra by 11, and then we'll see how to handle the issue on the ground.
I see. Mr. Toto, thank you very much for your time. We'll get back to you subsequently in the course of the day and bring viewers and listeners a lot more on this particular issue. We're taking a break here on News Desk. We'll return shortly with some more news. Don't go away.